Guys, Mike with Fights with Friends. Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz 3 will take place this Saturday at the Forum in Inglewood, California. Now, there was an original price that has dropped. There is also going to be a special Black Friday price, and we will get into that price in a moment and if that's a good idea. MMA Junkie put out a poll yesterday. Props to MMA Junkie and credit to them for always doing the most in-depth research, some of the best research on the web, and one of the best podcasts out there. If you guys don't listen to them, they have a slew of incredible guests. Their poll on Twitter said Golden Boy has lowered the pay-per-view price for Liddell versus Ortiz 3 to $39.99 for today's at MMA Junkie Radio #Daily Debate. We want to know if you'll be buying the card. They had a good sample audience. 2,561 people voted. People that are voting on Twitter at MMA Junkie, that is definitely your target audience. These are people that are the most likely to buy a pay-per-view. Some of your more hardcore fans are going to be in the MMA Junkie forums. These are the percentages. Only 2% said they were already buying it. 3% said, I will now. 20% said needs to be lower still. $39.99 is too much. And a whopping 75% said they will not buy it at any price. And that's when Oscar De La Hoya did something that I've been saying they needed to do for a very long time. Take advantage of the Black Friday impulse buys and do a Black Friday sale on this. This is a genius idea. And let me tell you why. Because at $49.99, 90-some% of the people ordering this, let's not kid ourselves, are male. It's a male audience. So it's either a male buying it or a female buying it for a male, for their husband, for their son, whatever, for their brother, whatever it is. $49.99, you go to your wife and you say, hey, Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz are fighting on Saturday at $49.99. Now, even she's going to say, aren't these guys ancient? Aren't they like 50 years old? And then she's going to put the question back to you. She's going to say, you really want to pay $49.99 to watch two 50-year-old guys beat each other up? Then you have to ask yourself the question, and best case scenario for most people at that point is like, I got to think about that. And I've got to think about it means on November 25th, when you realize that you've forgotten about this event because it was at the back of your MMA log, you're kind of ho-hum. It's not that big of a deal. But in $19.99, you come to your wife and say, hey, now you come to her after you've already came to her with the $49.99, mind you. You say, hey, this pay-per-view I was talking about that we weren't real excited about for $49.99, and she's rolling her eyes already. Now it's $19.99 if I order it on Black Friday. Now she's happy because she's saving $30 in her mind. You were going to buy it anyways, in her mind, most likely. When maybe you weren't going to. Probably not. But at $19.99, she's like, hey, that's $30 I can go spend on a pedicure, a manicure, a facial, whatever, get her nails done, whatever. And the day after Black Friday, when she's hungover from shopping, you're out of her hair. She can go out with her friends, and they can get their nails done and give themselves diabetes on iced beverages at Starbucks. $19.99, this now seems like a steal. You've got to buy it right away. So this is a genius from Oscar. Now you cannot forget about it. Because you have to do it now. You have to buy it $19.99 now. Now, there is only a 2-hour window on this. And this is where I think he made the mistake. I don't think people are going to care enough to be at home in that 2-hour window. I could be wrong. You can set an alert on Fight.tv, which is carrying the pay-per-view. You can set an alert to remind you when the sale starts. That was a great idea on their part, on Fight TV. Not so great on Oscar, I think, to make it a 2-hour promo, but we'll see how successful it is. I would not have made that kind of a risk with this big of a fight coming straight into the gate, the first big event you're ever putting on. I would have made it all a Black Friday. But that's me. I am curious what you guys think, but let's get into this a little further. Now, people are starting to buy the pay-per-views. The gate's already at 70% sold. It was yesterday. That is a great sell-through rate, even if they don't sell any more tickets for the first pay-per-view. And this, yeah, it's in California. It's in a place that people know MMA, but 70%, that's a great sell-through rate for a promotion that's never put on a pay-per-view event. And now Oscar has came out and he said that the pay-per-view numbers are abysmal. He wasn't going to release any of them, but he admitted himself, they're bad, they're horrible. Then they drop them down to $39.99. Still, there's no excitement. Then he drops it down to the price that it probably should have been originally. It probably should have been $19.99, maybe $24.99. Maybe $19.99, $24.99 if you want the HD. So this is the correct price point, and I think he will probably end up getting more buys now because of impulse buys and advertising for Black Friday. But let's go to the press conference between Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz that happened just days ago and see what they had to say to each other.
Las Vegas, California, live at the Forum, November 24th. I get an opportunity to put you out once and for all. It came around. I fought last year against Chael Sonnen in Bellator 170. I choked him out in 2.5 minutes. He's still in the heavyweight tournament and still beating guys. This guy next to me, he hasn't fought in over 10 years. He wants to come out of retirement and call me out. I've been passionately busy on my other businesses, but you know what? I see the opportunity to finally shut this guy up, to finally get my hand raised on my terms. Not the opportunity where UFC, who's given us a great opportunity to be the sport where it is today, but De La Hoya, once again, thank you very much for giving this opportunity to shut this guy up and to start a new business and to start what MMA truly should be. We go out there, we put our lives on the line. I've been through so many major surgeries and I've been able to bounce back. I'm healthier than I've ever been. I put myself to the grindstone. Like I said, I've been competing over the last 21 years, every single year. And on November 24th, when I get my hand raised over next to this knucklehead next to me, I'll show you guys what I'm truly about. And this is only the beginning, man. Like I said, I'm 43 years young. You watch guys, the greatest, like Bernard Hopkins, being 52, being a world champion. See guys like the greatest, like Randy Couture, at 43, being the world champion. You can see Tito Ortiz on November 24th, at 43, getting his hand raised over an old man, a shell of a man, Chuck, the Snowflake Liddell. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, everyone, for having me here. First, to address Tito, I know he's hoping, I know you're hoping, I'm a shell of the man that I was, because that's the only way he'd have a chance at beating me. But he's going to find out real quick, November 24th, that I'm not. I still hit just as hard, I still wrestle just as well, and he is going to get knocked out.
You ain't doing shit.
Anyway, thank you guys for having me. I'm excited to be back in the sport, and I'm excited to prove to everyone that I'm not too old. You can do anything you put your mind to. I will be there, I will be in shape, and I will be ready. This guy is getting knocked out, and I am going to enjoy it.
You ain't doing shit.
Hogan se está dando el cara a cara entre Chuck Liddell y pues Tito Ortiz. la pelea número 3, 24 de noviembre.
So first reactions to the press conference. Let's start out with the face-off and work our way backwards. Tito Ortiz, $1 million flinch. That was genius. The little... And Chuck didn't respond to it, really. Now, there's a lot of deep meaning to what happened in that stare down. For one thing, there's no fear in Chuck Liddell's eyes. If you watch it further, I believe there is in Tito Ortiz. And because that is based on what has happened in the past and the devastating power of Chuck Liddell. Chuck Liddell said the last thing to go is your power. He's right. At 48 years old, he should still have his power or most of it. He's not going to have the speed. He's not going to have the same reflexes, but neither does Tito Ortiz. Not like he did when they were younger. Chuck Liddell, I think, could have fed into the flinch a little bit and sold that a little further, but the fact that he didn't react to it also tells a story. You go back to the interview, Tito Ortiz has always kind of hovered, in my mind, in between this good and bad boy scenario. To me, it makes him come off as kind of an inconsistent personality. But he has had a great fan base over most of his career. And I've been a Tito Ortiz fan through most of his career. I can't say for sure that I am now. I do want to see him fight, I guess, so maybe I am. I'm definitely a Chuck Liddell fan. I mean, since the first time I seen this guy fight, absolutely incredible. He's got that power that brings in pay-per-view numbers. This is what people want to see. Absolutely devastating knockouts. Can he do it at 48 years old? I don't know. This has always been a horrible matchup for Tito Ortiz, though, because everything Chuck can do, he can do better. Tito Ortiz, in the past, has not been able to take him down effectively because Chuck Liddell has incredible takedown defense, some of the best takedown defense in the game. He cannot stand with Chuck at all. Tito Ortiz is a C-level striker against an A-level striker. I don't know that I see a course for Tito to finish this, unless Chuck has aged so much that Tito just takes him down to the ground and pounds him, unmercifully. And that could happen, being that Chuck's been away for, like Tito said, almost 10 years. It's been a minute. These two were supposed to fight on The Ultimate Fighter, and Tito backed out then. Maybe he didn't think that Chuck had gotten old enough, as Chuck alluded to. And I think he's right on that. I think he's 100% right that that's the only chance. When he said the only chance that Tito Ortiz has is that if I'm a shell of a man. That's the story. Both men understand the story. How much has Chuck Liddell aged? I want to know what you guys think down there below, though. Is this $19.99 price tag? Is that enough to make you guys throw in and buy this pay-per-view? I don't think $39.99, $49.99, or even $39.99 was enough for any of you or very many of you to buy this pay-per-view. I'm curious at $19.99, and that's the point where I said I'm going to buy this and cover it. Will you guys tune into a fight companion? Is there enough excitement of Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz? There is a decent undercard, some former UFC fighters on there. I will break down the undercard on another video later or in a live stream. But until then, I want to know what you guys think. Who do you think will win this fight? Is the new price tag worth paying for? Is it a waste of all of our times? Just want to let you guys know my live streaming is back up. I will be live streaming soon, and I will update you on when that will be very soon. And I will be live streaming the Saturday live reaction fight for Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz. So we can look forward to that. I'm actually excited after the flinch. Thank you, Tito. As always, I love you. I respect you. And I'll see your fine asses later.